when the Star Wars license ran out, Marvel didn't renew it, and that's when Dark Horse picked it up. So then I started working for Dark Horse. Tom was obviously a big fan of Lucas. Said, got this idea of going on from the movies and we're going to such and such. And he started talking about different, planet systems that we could go to and things. And obviously he was really into it. So I said, okay. First book I think I did. And when Lucas saw the first book that I did, he said, we want a second series.
This was after issue 1, was it?
And it wasn't out yet. He just saw the artwork.
Okay, right, more of this.
I thought, okay, that's fair enough. And Tom was really excited. And then when we were finishing the second Dark Empire, he said, I got a third one, Rowe. I said, I'm not doing it. So he was horrified, that I would possibly say to George Lucas, I'm not doing it.
Was it a case of just
I just found it so boring. A lot of stuff I enjoyed doing, colouring and things, but I just found it boring. And then that's when I met up with one of Lucas's assistants at San Diego. I met Lucy Wilson, who at that time was an assistant to George Lucas, and she said, "This is so sad that you don't want to continue drawing Star Wars Dark Empire." I said, well, to be very honest with you, I said, I don't really find the characters all that interesting. And she said, well, is there anything in the Star Wars galaxy that you do like? So the only one that interests me is Boba Fett, the bounty hunter. I said, I wouldn't mind doing something like 3 or 4 days in the life of Boba. But without the other Star Wars characters, I would like to bring in just all sorts of vagabonds and thieves and other characters that Boba would deal with. She said, "This sounds interesting. I'll put this past George Lucas from you." She said, "Would you write it?" I said, "No, but I think John Wagner would." Now at this time, as you know, John Wagner knew nothing about this whole thing. So I went home and I phoned him from Oregon and I said, "John, I've kind of got you involved in writing a Boba Fett graphic novel." And John said, "Who is Boba Fett?" And I told him. So John, professional as he is, he went off and he got 3 cassettes, as I had done, looked at it. And I would say at that time, this is before emails and texts, I'd say that in about a week to 10 days, Lucasfilm, Dark Horse Comics had a synopsis on their desk, which they then sent to Lucasfilm, who were delighted with the first Boba Fett and said, "Go for it, guys."
Yeah.
So, and that was fun to do as well. I was back working with a pal.
Yeah. So
and then Tom went on and got Jim Bakey, I think it was, that did the third part of Dark Empire. But I'd had enough, But I enjoyed doing the Boba Fett because he's a wee bit in the lines of being like a Dredd character. Don't screw about with him.
True. I was going to say, there's also in terms of those stories that you did for Boba Fett, there wasn't a huge amount of baggage attached to it. It was basically Boba Fett, and everything else about it was pure invention of
on my part, which is what I love. I made up all these other, miscreants and junkyard thieves and other characters and things. And I think the only other thing from Star Wars that was in Boba Fett would have been Jabba the Hutt, I think. Because that's what I said to Lucasfilm, before I did Boba Fett. I said, I don't want to draw any of the Star Wars characters in it. But obviously John put in Jabba the Hutt because he's got a weakness for fat people. And that was it. So I did 3, I think, with John. Boba Fett's, hand coloured them all, and then I did another 2 Boba Fett's. Because he was a character that I liked. I thought it was a great idea for a character, having a bounty hunter in space.
Yeah, it works really well, and again, it resonates with the sort of Dread work, with the character based, plot and all the world building and all that kind of thing that you put into your art.